here. I decided to rent this movie theater so that I can watch the movie in private. They gotta oil these seats. Yeah, it's one of the smaller theaters. But hey, it's all mine. So while they setting everything up for me, I'm gonna put on a movie that I want to see, and I'm gonna sit here and talk to you guys. Now, here's what I've heard in the whole process. This is what I heard. You can confirm if this is what you heard also. Deion Sanders, aka Prime Time, took the head coaching job at the University of Colorado. Probably the first black coach ever to coach Colorado. Since Colorado has been in the Pac 12, they've been damn near at the bottom for the past 10 years. Now, mm, mm, mm. Let me put this down for a minute. Now, I'm going to break down what all this really means. And then the outrage. Once Prime got to Alabama State, right? Let's start there because that's essential. Once Deion Sanders got to Alabama State, there was a major, I mean, not Alabama State, Jackson State. Sorry about that. But once he got to Jackson State and decided to join the SWAC, they signed him to a 4-year deal worth $1.5 million. To me, that's considerably low. That's $300,000 a year. Then he gave up $500,000 back to the university so that they can go and get the right things that they needed to get for the academics and the staff. You said Kwame Brown's name is in the title. Where did you see Kwame Brown's name in the title? Anyway, is that in the title? I don't think it's in the title. So anyhow, he was getting 300,000 a year, plus he gave up 500,000. Now, if you know Prime, he want that bag. Now, if he could have got to Florida State and got that big money, he wanted to be in the big game. But he had to start out small because people didn't know how well he was as a coach. So they chose not to take the road less traveled by and start playing players who were what you would say mm-hmm. They weren't playing Alabama. Alabama wasn't going to be on their schedule. Prime knew what he was doing. I have to build this team up by recruiting some of the top athletes in the world. But here's the hypocrisy in what he did. He preached on how blacks need to go back to the HBSCs and all that. Basically, the black schools instead of going to these major universities. So he goes from that goes from that to taking a job at Colorado and taking some of the talent that will be going to black universities and black schools and taking them to basically white schools. So it's like an oxymoron to what he was talking about. You see what I'm saying? Now it doesn't make sense what he was actually saying. None of it adds up. But should he left? Absolutely. I mean, he's a grown man. He made a decision. I mean, I like what he did, bringing attention to the SWAC and everything else. But if you want the man to stay, pay him like you want him to stay. I mean, that dude's getting what, 5 million? What are you getting, like 5 million a year? Coach Prime is always gonna go for the bag, but he went against the things he was promoting and preaching. That he did do. So if anybody has anything to say about that, um, I mean, he's done great by Jackson State. He built his name up to be a credible coach to where he could be respected. And he brought attention and he brought money and revenue in. They were selling out stadiums, selling out games to go see Prime. They weren't stealing from him, but he was underpaid. Now he put himself in a position to where people will pay him the big money. So Alabama, I mean not Alabama, Mississippi, which is Jackson State University, they could pay him. So do I think he left too soon? Well, I mean, if I can go from 300,000 to 5 million, I think I'm gonna take the 5 million. But I'll give him a chance to offer. I know people mad about the classic and all of these different things, but here's the thing. Jackson State now is in a better position than it was ever in life. So any coach they bring in after him, they're in a good situation for at least the next 3-4 years. Right. Ain't nobody gonna offer Eddie Robinson nothing. The SWAC is all he gonna get. That's his daddy's legacy. That's where his daddy's from. His town. They ain't gonna give him no shot at no major. There, there are plenty.
Hey, movie fans!
Well,
Thank you for showing up early for UV. I'm your host, Maria Menounos,
yeah, I rented the
and
movie
I'm
theater
super
out,
excited to make your movie
so it's time
experience
for them to
even
start
better with
rolling
exclusive
my movie.
content and
So I'm
originals,
gonna go out here and
games,
talk.
and endless movie trivia. So sit back, relax, and dig into your snacks. Movie starts now.
Nah, I got time. So well, the situation is different because when you got $5 million versus 300,000, that's different. A lot of people could say he don't need the money, but you don't know what he needs. His expenses are not your expenses. Remember, he gave up 500,000 back to the university to help him out. Now he ain't gonna have a problem with recruiting. The only problem I have with the situation, Well, you got to understand, only thing Prime did wrong. This the only thing Coach Prime did wrong in this whole situation is that everything he preached about, he went against. Now, that could have been his dream at that time, though. To be devil's advocate to that. That could have been his dream to see his son graduate from HBCU and go all 4 years to see all his school and him being there. At that point in time, that was his goal. But he had one of the top picks in the high school to go to any major college and university, go to an all-black school in Jackson State, Mississippi. One of the top recruits in the world. And that's what got the world's attention. He didn't choose Alabama or Auburn or all these other schools. He chose Jackson State University. So now, because he did that, there was a massive problem. It shook up the college world. And Prime delivers. Whenever you put a microphone in front of him and put a camera in his face, he's on. Like clockwork. He on stage. Mm-hmm. He used the HBCU. I mean, I wouldn't say that he used them when they benefited more off him. I think they both actually went in it and both profited. Jack, you think Jackson State University didn't profit? Didn't prosper off this? They definitely did. You think Prime could have got a coaching job anywhere in Colorado before Jackson State University? Absolutely not. This is the only chance he had to get a job, to get where he's at now. Well deserving of that $5 million. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, here's the thing. Jackson State University could have offered him something, and it's not like the university didn't have the money. It's funny how Jackson State, Mississippi, you guys are mad at the black man who gave money back to your school, who actually helped bring money into y'all university and build y'all up to the point where ESPN sponsors, everybody's looking at Jackson State University so that your program is going to be good for the next 3 to 4 years. You're already put in that position now. People know about Jackson State University. But yet, y'all not mad at the white man, Brett Favre, from stealing money from the state of Mississippi. You mad at the black man that brought money into the state of Mississippi, but you ain't mad at the white man that took it. Our people, baby. Our people. Wow. I wouldn't say that. I just did. Ain't nobody said a damn thing about Brett Favre. But Prime, who took Jackson State from what? Nothing into something, and now you act like Jackson State ain't gonna win no games no more? You think Jackson State ain't gonna win games now? You think they ain't gonna be dominant in the SWAC because Deion ain't there? You know what kind of talent they got there in Jackson State? They're gonna be good for the next 3 to 4 years. So that school's gonna continuously make money. How do you think they're able to pay him $300,000 a year? Because they can afford to pay him $2 million a year, if not more. Jackson State University ain't that poor. They choose who they want to. It's funny, they never have these problems and these arguments when white coaches leave. When Urban Meyer left LSU and left Louisiana, oh, that wasn't Urban Meyer. That's Nick Saban, wasn't it? Didn't Coach Saban leave LSU? And he went over to Alabama? Yeah, that was Urban Meyer. I mean, not Urban Meyer, but Nick Saban. Nick Saban left LSU first. He was the first one to do it. He left LSU and went and took the Bama job. For what? More money. After saying he was going to stay. He ain't made a decision. He got up and he left. And he went to where? The Miami Dolphins. Did he go to, who went to the Dolphins? Then went to Alabama. So my point is this. Urban Meyer's done it, Les Miles, all these people have done what? These white coaches left for money. They went and chased the bag. But it's okay for him to do it. A black man do it. He make good at the university, lead them to an undefeated record. The team gonna be good for years to come. Y'all can't afford to pay him the money he deserves. Fine, he's gonna go get his money now. But y'all all good anyway. But nope. Nope. We ain't happy. We got to run his name through the mud. Jackson State, Mississippi should do a press conference to be thanking him for what he did. Because they got more than that $300,000 a year worth out of him. Do you know how much those endorsements that the university gets now? When Prime was at those games, they make his salary in about a month, less than a month. They'll make Deion's salary for the whole 2 years. Just off endorsements, television, ESPN2, whatever. Jackson State University was getting games sold out. They had upped the prices to the games. I don't care if he has $60 billion. It ain't about that. It's about that man did a job. He should be paid for the job he did. Why come when it's somebody blank, we got... This is always the question. This is always the issue. When it's us. This is crazy. It don't even make sense. Do y'all see why this shouldn't even be a discussion? That man can leave if he wants to leave. He done his job. If he said, look, I have the option to leave, then leave. It ain't like he didn't do a good job. Shit, they had an undefeated season. He led them astray. Those players came there to go with him. They could transfer. And some of them will. He wanted to play at the big boy table. This is where he wanted to go anyway. You think Prime wanted to be at Michigan State? It's not what he wanted. He didn't say, man, you know what's in store in my life? Man, I wish I had Michigan State. It's not what he wants. Not Michigan State, but Jackson State, Mississippi. But Brett Favre comes into town, stealing money. He ain't going to none of your games, ain't supporting it at all. Stealing from the state, taking money out of the welfare plans. Then he talking about, oh, we don't know where he got the money from. You know where he got the money from. You think Brett Favre didn't care where that money was coming from? Hey, what's up? Brett Favre knew what was going on. That's why he was talking to the governor. Why do you think he put it in there that he want them to go ahead and take away? And he filed, why ain't nobody talking about it, he filed a motion to have the charges dismissed against him. That's what people missed. Brett Favre filed a junction to have the court take his name out of all of it. All while you was sleeping. Y'all worried about Deion, a man who had brought money into the state of Mississippi. But the man who taken it away, old Brett Favre. Mills Lane's been basically dead for 20 years. He had a really bad heart attack. He couldn't really talk or nothing. He was like hospitalized. He couldn't even move. Like he had a bad stroke like about 25 years ago. I'm surprised he lasted as long as he did, but he was tough. Let's get it on. Rest in peace to Mills Lane. Yes, thank you for liking this live. Thanks, Rich32. Absolutely. My movie hasn't started. Yeah, they showing trailers and stuff. No, I always rent the movie out. It's better. The one don't have a lot of people in it anyway, but I wanted the small screen so I can just rent it out, come here, relax, chill. It's private. Yeah, that's how I watch my movies sometimes. Sometimes I watch it with the crowd. Like if it's a big movie coming out, get crowd reaction. But for something like this, I want to just chill, relax. Oh yeah, see? Private. Private. My movies are private. Yeah, I was in the cut like, man, he going off. I because at that time we didn't know 24/7 and all that stuff didn't exist. That was the very first episode something like that was ever done, a documentary following and the whole thing. So I was just like blown away, and everybody thought I was Trinidad. The media, it was so stupid. But yeah, I became a star. My phone was ringing. I was on there for 0.7 seconds, and that was enough. People, I saw you. I'm like, damn. People were screenshotting it, taking pictures, and sending me, and it's a picture of me looking stupid. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, man, I wish it was a cool looking picture. Yeah. So that's what I said. Prime don't need any of the debacle or any of the headaches that everybody else is going through. Like, he don't need that. Prime don't need any of the headaches that people are trying to put him through. Like, oh, you ain't black because you took the job and you left Jackson State. The only thing is that he preached that more black players need to stay home and go to HBCU schools, and then you leave. So he went against what he was preaching when he got there. That's the only thing he done wrong. Now the Lakers are gonna play Cavs pretty soon. So my movie's gonna start and I gotta get out of here and go back and watch that game. That game should be finishing up. So I'ma holler at y'all later on. LeBron lose chips all the time, B. I'm out.